With high-performance sedans that look like coupes, you can have your cake and eat it too. The BMW M8 Gran Coupe 2022 version is somewhere in the middle. Well, it depends upon how you view it now. It's either a more practical two-door M8 Coupe or a more elegant BMW M5 sedan. The Gran Coupe is wider, longer, and taller than the M8 Coupe. There are 2 extra doors as well. The Gran Coupe has more space inside, especially in the back seat, and it can fit child safety seats. Whether you think of it as a more attractive sedan or a more useful coupe, there's one thing you can be sure of. It's insanely fast and capable. It's a big car, but its turbocharged V8 engine, grippy tires, sports suspension, and big brakes make it fun to drive on a twisty road in ways you might not expect. On the highway, the M8 Gran Coupe is also pretty quiet and easy to drive. But in this class, there are a lot of other people who want to be at the top. The Audi RS7, Mercedes-Benz AMG GT53, and Porsche Panamera Turbo S are all about the same size and have about the same amount of power and features. Sometimes the second version is better than the first, and we think the M8 Gran Coupe is even better than the two-door version it replaced. BMW made its redesigned 8 Series bigger and added 2 more doors, giving it a lot more room for passengers and making it useful for families. The 617 horsepower twin-turbo V8 engine in the M8 Gran Coupe makes it move as well as it looks, and it appears to be quite excellent. Now let's talk about how efficient is the Gran Coupe to drive. It is not very easy to talk about how efficient the M8 drives without making it sound too good to be true. You can go from 0 to about 60 miles per hour in 3.1 seconds, which is crazy fast. This big 4-door car with room for 5 people is just as fast as the Audi R8 and Acura NSX. Some people would be happy if the M8 just moved quickly, but it is able to use that power to give smooth instant acceleration whenever you need it on a normal trip. If you like driving on roads with twists and turns, the M8 might surprise you with how well it handles them. It will handle those curves better than all but the fastest and lightest sports cars, while also being much more comfortable and quiet. Powerful brakes and tires that don't slip help, and the M8 can stop from 60 miles per hour in 104 feet, which is another amazing number. You won't need your weekend car here, so get rid of it. Interior. What's the inside like? The Gran Coupe stands out in this category because of how much space it has inside. Even though the streamlined roofline takes away some headroom, the legroom is surprisingly large, and the driver's seat and steering column have more adjustment options than any of us knew what to do with. The lower roofline makes it harder to get in and out of the car, especially in the back, and a little bit harder to see out the back. If you choose the driver assistance package, however, the 360-degree video system and parking sensors take away the need to guess. The BMW iDrive system isn't the easiest to figure out, but once you do, it works well and doesn't take your attention away from the road. Unlike Audi and Porsche, which only have touchscreens, you can use both a dial controller and a touchscreen. This gives you strong control redundancy. Comfort. How big is the M8 Gran Coupe's cabin? Because the M8 Gran Coupe is such a beast on the track, we thought it might be impossible to drive on the street. But that's not the case. It's not the most comfortable ride in its class, but it does a decent job of smoothing out bumps. The front seats are as comfortable as you'd expect from a high-end sedan, with a lot of ways to change them to get the right amount of support. But we wish the backs of the back seats were angled a little more, and the padding near the tailbone was a little uncomfortable. Also, the M8 is one of the quietest cars in its class, with the exception of that V8 bark at startup. There isn't much noise from the wind or tires, and the cabin doesn't squeak or shake. Like those in many BMWs, the climate settings aren't the easiest to use, but they do a good job of keeping the temperature inside the car at a set level. We couldn't tell if the airflow in the seats was working or not. Technology. How are the tools? The M8 has great technology, mostly because it has a great set of advanced driver aids and a more advanced virtual voice assistant that copies the MBUX system from Mercedes-Benz. Both of these things aren't quite as good as what Mercedes offers, but they do make it easier to deal with rush hour traffic or turn on seat ventilation without having to move a finger. The optional Bowers and Wilkins audio system sounds good and seems to be priced well, especially when you consider that systems from some competitors cost twice as much. The M8 also has an easy-to-use navigation system and can connect to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto phones. There are more than enough USB ports and power outlets for all of the electronics that people bring. Storage. How are things with the storage? Even though the Gran Coupe's trunk is only 11 cubic feet, it has a lot of space. The back seats split and fold almost flat in a 40-20-40 configuration, and a hands-free trunk feature makes it easy to load groceries when your hands are full. The M8's trunk is also shorter than the trunks of the Mercedes AMG GT and Porsche Panamera. As with most other high-performance luxury cars, there isn't much storage space inside, but the places that are there, like the armrest in the middle and the glove box, are better sized. If car seats are important to you, you can get them in the Gran Coupe. Aside from having a lot of space in the back seats, the car seat anchors are easy to get to and are hidden under beautiful magnetic leather flaps. Surprisingly, this was one of the best ways we've ever seen an anchor used. Fuel efficiency. How about the gas mileage? On average, the M8 Gran Coupe should get 17 miles per gallon, 15 in the city and 21 on the highway. It uses more gas than the Porsche Panamera Turbo and the Mercedes-Benz GT53, which is both about 21 miles per gallon combined. Even though most people who own these cars probably don't care about how much gas they use, no one likes going to the gas station often. On our 115-mile loop, which is mostly highway but also has mountain roads and city streets, we got 21.8 miles per gallon. Because of the epidemic, there wasn't much traffic, but this is still a strong sign that the M8 can get better gas mileage than expected if it's driven carefully. Notably, the fuel computer on board agreed with what we had figured out. Value. Is it a good idea to buy a BMW M8 Gran Coupe? As members of the 99%, we also find it hard to believe that a $130,000 car could be a good deal, but stay with us. The M8 Gran Coupe is actually about $10,000 cheaper than its closest competitor in this class, and it doesn't give up anything in terms of horsepower or quality of construction. Cabin design will always be a matter of taste, but we think BMWs are just as good as any other, even though it doesn't look as luxurious as you might expect. The warranty and benefits of owning a BMW are also better than those of most competitors. The rust-through warranty lasts for 12 years, and roadside assistance is available. BMW is also the only car in this class that offers 3 years or 36,000 miles of free maintenance. Wildcard. Most four-door coupes are cramped versions of the sedans they are based on. The M8 Gran Coupe, on the other hand, is just a longer version of the two-door. This makes it a more practical car that is still very fast and fun to drive. It has real space for a family and still looks sleek and elegant. The best thing about it is that it goes as fast as the M8 Coupe. If you want an M8, this is the car you should get. BMW makes this easy by giving the 2022 M8 Gran Coupe only one trim level, competition. You can, however, add a few options and packages. For ours, we choose the Driving Assistance and Driving Assistance Professional packages. They come with a number of important driver aids, such as monitoring for blind spots, adaptive cruise control, and an automatic parking system. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to hit like and subscribe to this channel for more.